your executive assistant, whether they're virtual or in person, your executive assistant has 3 jobs. One is to communicate between you and your clients, and you, your vendors, you, your relationships, whatever they may be, handling your emails, your text messages, whatever might be your primary form of communication in a professional way that is structured, that is intended to protect your value, your ethics, your time, your energy. They're your gatekeeper, yes, but it requires more than just identifying the relationship as a gatekeeper. For example, they should never throw you under the bus. They should always, whatever bad things happen, is their responsibility to take on. You're the hero, they're the bad guy. The other thing your executive assistant should be doing is keeping your calendar schedule aligned, exquisitely aligned. That is part of their job, meaning that they should be prioritizing time for you to have alone time, personal time, exercise time, whatever it might be, gym, healthy eating, whatever that entails. They should be prioritizing your meetings into block schedules so that you can knock out your meetings all in a set, number of days, hours per week, so that you're not having meetings every single day of the week. There should be said days chosen for you to meet with clients, again, for sales-related reasons, for service-related reasons. And ideally, these should be lumped together because you should be in meeting mode, turn your brain onto meeting mode, knock out the meeting tasks, and then have a creative mode to set aside some time to do things that are creative in your business, whether that's practicing marketing strategy or coming up with, content ideas or whatever it might be. And then the final thing that your executive assistant should be doing is keeping their communication with you precisely clear to the point that they're trying to make. So in other words, your executive assistant should never be asking you a vague question that requires you to look into things. If this is happening, your executive assistant is failing. They're wasting your time. Whenever they're asking you a question, there should always be clarity within the context. Hey, for example, hey, Maida, we talked about XYZ on this day. Do you still want to move forward? Not, hey, Maida, our conversation on last Tuesday needs a follow-up. What did you want to do? Those are 2 different questions. If I have to pick up my phone, do research to figure out the answer to your question, you're wasting my time. You're my executive assistant. You literally need to present things to me on a silver platter, so to speak, in a way that wastes the least amount of time for me so that I can spend my time being productive and making money, while you spend your time doing the things that cost us money. And when we look at it that way, when things cost us money, ideally you want to spend the least amount of time doing the tasks that cost money so that we can drive revenue. So if you're struggling with, your executive assistant, ask yourself if these 3 things are being handled properly. If they're representing you correctly with your tone, voice, your individuality, your ethics, your standards to your clients, your vendors, and that kind of thing. Are they protecting your integrity? Are they protecting your authority and that kind of thing? Are they throwing you under the bus and using every opportunity to say, well, Maida said, or Jenny said, or whatever it might be? 2, the scheduling aspect. They are there to make your life easier. They are there to arrange your schedule, to make it so that you don't have to think as much, not have to use your brain, and be somewhat on autopilot. And then 3, when they do communicate with you about things, making sure that those things are clear and literal so that you can spend the least amount of time and energy trying to reiterate the same issues that you may have been trying to address in the long run. I hope this helps.